Welcome to the next one. This one is on median, mode, and range. So the last time we talked about finding the mean or the average. Now we're going to talk about three other measures of the center. So we're going to summarize and describe distributions by giving quantitative measures of the center, the middle of the data. And our I can statement, I can calculate the median, mode, and range of a set of data. And I can describe a set of data based on those measurements. Oh, almost got rid of it.
All right, we need to make sure that we know our vocabulary. Some of them you've heard before and others you haven't. The median is our middle data value. So it's the mean or the mean of the two middle values. So we're going to talk about when you have an odd number of data values and when you have an even number of data pieces. And then we'll talk about how to find the median in both. Our mode is the most, the one that occurs or repeats the most. So that MO in mode you can remember because the data value that occur the most also has an MO. And then there's different ways to remember the range. The range is the difference between the high and the low data values. So it's the greatest minus the least, the maximum minus the minimum,
the distance high, between the two numbers.
The high minus the low is the range, don't you know?
Yeah, you're not saying.
Okay.
But we should play that song tomorrow.
We should.
So each of these is pretty straightforward. As you work through them is just kind of keeping them all straight. But the biggest step in any of these problems is before you can find the median, the mode, the range, you've got to take your data value and you've got to put them in order. So your first step should be to rewrite our data in order. So I have 11,
2 13s,
13, 13, 14,
2 16s,
16, 16, and 22.
There you go.
So our first step is to find the mean. That's what we practiced.
No, I want to find the mode. That's easiest.
Oh, you're going to get the mode first?
Ooh, there's two modes actually.
The mode is the most. So which one occurred the most? We have 2 13s and 2 16s. So whichever ones occurred the most. So we would have both 13 and 16. Let's knock out the range while we're here. That's our high.
Distance between the high and
minus
the low.
our low. So we're going to do 22 minus 11, which is 11.
Okay, I'm going to start adding them up for him.
So she's going to be working on adding up all of my pieces for me. Because to find the mean, we're simply going to add each of those parts together.
That 14 looks like a comma, by the way.
They knew what I meant.
So the sum of our data is 105. We're dividing by 7 because we have 7 pieces of data.
Which should give us
15 even.
So remember, we add them all up, divide by the number of data pieces. And then our last one is the one where we have to do a little bit of work.
You didn't think that was work?
It's just calculator work. To find the median, we want to find the middle piece. So some of you can see where the middle is going to be, but a good way to do it is cross out one from either end, kind of cross them out until you're left.
Right, left, there's the middle.
With just one in the middle, that is your median. So our median is 14. The median is the middle.
Now when we look at all that, we're supposed to be describing the center of the data, and sometimes that center or that middle changes based on extreme data points. In this case, we don't really have any. Our range is from 11 to 22, and they're kind of evenly distributed. So all of our numbers look about right.
All right, next one. Find the mean, median, mode, and range for our data. Remember our first step, put them in order. So we have a 14, a 20, 21. And a good way to do it is kind of cross them out as you use them. 22, 29, 31, and 31. The longer the data gets, the more you want to go back and double check. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 pieces. There was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 pieces in my data, so I know I caught all of them.
Note to self, your median will work out really well.
Let's knock out the mode. Which one occurred the most?
31.
That's our 31. Our range is the high minus the low, so 31 minus 14. Do a little borrowing here.
So the data spreads out 17 from low to high.
Let's go ahead and find my median quick while Mrs. King is doing some math.
Yes.
So I'm going to kind of cross out one from either end. But you have to cross one from both sides until you're left with, in this case, one left in the middle. So my median is 22.
You got a sum of 168 divided by 7 data pieces gives you an average of 24.
So Mrs. King added up all the pieces, got 168. There were 7 of them, so she divided by 7 and got 24 for our mean, our average.
So our average is 24 and our middle is 22, and we're pretty close together.
Next one,
All
we're going to
right.
see a slight difference in this one, so a little bit to pay attention to. First off, put them in order. So we have 20, 21, 22, 22, 24, 24, 25, and 27.
Yep.
There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 8 total, and I have 8 in my answer, or in my list, so I'm good there.
Sum of 185
So
divided.
she added them all up, divide by 8.
Ooh, what are we rounded to? We got 23.1. Let's do to the nearest tenth.
So we get an average of 23.1. Now let's look for the mode. I see a couple 22s and a couple 24s. They both occurred the same amount of time, so they both count as the mode.
If nothing occurs or
More than
repeats
once.
more than once, then you have no mode, just in case you get to that.
In this case, 27 minus 20, my high minus my low, gives me a range of 7.
Ooh, close data.
And this is where we need to do a little bit of work. For our median, again, cross them out from both sides. You gotta, if you're gonna take one from the left, you have to take one from the right. And in this case, you're gonna notice there's 2 left in the middle. Don't cross out the 22 and then be left with this. If you can't take one from both ends, you can't keep going. When there's 2 in the middle, remember our notes, we're gonna find the mean or the average of those 2 numbers.
The middle number between 22 and 24, we can eyeball and say it's 23, but sometimes the numbers are going to be too spread out. So you're going to have to rely on the fact that it's 22 plus 24, which is 46 divided by 2. And that's how we get the 23.
So find the mean, meaning add them up. There's 2 of them, so we divide by 2. For those of you who can eyeball in between, you're more than welcome to, as long as you can do it accurately.
As long as the data's close, you should be able to, but not always. All right, the rest of the notes is for you to do and finish on your own. We'll go over them when you get into class. We do want to make sure that you find all 4 pieces of information for 3 and 4. Number 3 is a bar graph, so you're going to go ahead and put the numbers above each bar in order before you get started finding all of your data points. Number 4 is already in order for you, so that should be very easy and quick. Just go ahead, the range is simple. Just go ahead and find all of your data points, and then there's a little vocabulary check before you come into class. We'll see you tomorrow.